For years, Spinosaurus was thought to be a unique oddity among dinosaurs. But the discovery of oxalaia in Brazil has raised new questions. How did such similar creatures evolve on different continents? What does this mean for our understanding of prehistoric ecosystems? Join us as we unravel the mystery of the Spinosaurids' intercontinental journey. The unearthing of Oxalaia quilombensis in the late Cretaceous deposits of Brazil has sent ripples through the paleontological community. This new genus of spinosaurid dinosaur bears a striking resemblance to its African cousin Spinosaurus, challenging our previous assumptions about the distribution and evolution of these fascinating predators. The presence of comparable giant carnivores on separate continents presents a unique opportunity to explore the intricate interplay between geography, climate, and evolution. As we embark on this comparative journey, we'll uncover how diverse environments shape these colossal creatures, ultimately revealing new insights into Earth's prehistoric past and the complex web of life that existed millions of years ago. To truly understand the rise of these prehistoric titans, we need to journey back to the late Cretaceous period, approximately 100 to 66 million years ago. This was a time of great change, with shifting continents, fluctuating sea levels, and evolving ecosystems. Our story unfolds across two distinct yet surprisingly similar landscapes: the lush tropical forests of northeastern Brazil and the coastal regions of North Africa. Let's start our tour in what is now Brazil, specifically the area known as the Alcântara Formation. Picture a landscape dominated by towering conifers, their branches laden with prehistoric ferns. Horsetails sway in the warm breeze, creating a dense understory. This wasn't a place of constant tranquility, though. The climate was characterized by periods of heavy rainfall interspersed with lengthy dry spells, creating a dynamic and challenging environment. Rivers snaked through this primeval forest, teeming with fish that would become the primary food source for our Brazilian protagonist, Oxalaia. The humid air and abundant vegetation supported a diverse ecosystem, providing ample resources for a variety of creatures, from small mammals scurrying through the underbrush to pterosaurs soaring overhead. Now, let's shift our gaze across the Atlantic to North Africa, where Spinosaurus reigned supreme. The landscape here shared some similarities with Brazil, but with key differences. Coastal regions dominated, featuring extensive river systems and sprawling wetlands. Mangrove forests likely dotted the shorelines, their tangled roots providing shelter for countless aquatic species. The climate in North Africa was also tropical, but perhaps slightly drier than in Brazil. Seasonal fluctuations in rainfall would have caused rivers to swell and recede, creating ever-changing habitats that Spinosaurus and its prey had to navigate. Both environments supported large fish populations, a crucial factor in the evolution of these massive predators. In Brazil, Oxalaia would have had access to freshwater fish in the rivers, and possibly even ventured to coastal areas for marine prey. Spinosaurus, on the other hand, seems to have been more adapted to a semi-aquatic lifestyle, perfectly suited to hunting in the extensive waterways of North Africa. The abundance of aquatic prey in both regions likely played a significant role in shaping the unique features of these spinosaurids. Their elongated jaws and conical teeth, reminiscent of modern crocodiles, were ideally suited for catching and holding onto slippery fish. This convergence in feeding adaptations is a testament to the power of similar environmental pressures in shaping evolution, even across vast distances. But why did these similar creatures evolve on different continents? The answer lies in the concept of convergent evolution. When faced with similar environmental challenges and opportunities, evolution often finds comparable solutions. In this case, the abundant aquatic prey and lack of significant competition in both regions led to the development of large fish-eating predators with remarkably similar features. However, it's important to note that while Oxalaia and Spinosaurus shared many characteristics, they weren't carbon copies of each other. The subtle differences in their environments likely led to some distinctions in their anatomy and behavior. For instance, Spinosaurus is thought to have been more adapted to an aquatic lifestyle, with evidence suggesting it spent considerable time in water. Oxalaia, while certainly capable of hunting in water, may have been more terrestrial in its habits. The story of these two giants is not just about individual species, but about entire ecosystems. As paleontologist Elaine Machado noted, Oxalaia was the dominant reptile of what is now Cajual Island, indicating its status as an apex predator in its environment. Similarly, Spinosaurus was at the top of the food chain in its North African habitat. These creatures were not just passive participants in their ecosystems, they were key players, shaping the dynamics of prehistoric food webs through their predatory activities. The journey to unearth these prehistoric giants began in vastly different eras, separated by nearly a century of scientific progress. Spinosaurus made its debut in the Annals of Paleontology in 1912, when German paleontologist Ernst Stromer discovered its remains in the Bahariya Formation of Western Egypt. This initial find, consisting of partial skull bones, vertebrae, and limb elements, was enough to ignite scientific imagination about the nature of this colossal predator. Tragically, Stromer's original Spinosaurus fossils were destroyed during World War II, leaving paleontologists with only drawings and descriptions to work from for decades. It wasn't until the early 2000s that new Spinosaurus remains were unearthed in Morocco, reigniting interest in this enigmatic creature. These discoveries, including a partial skeleton found in 2008, have dramatically reshaped our understanding of Spinosaurus, revealing it to be even more bizarre and fascinating than initially thought. On the other side of the Atlantic, oxalaia's story began much more recently. In 1999, researchers stumbled upon the first traces of this Brazilian giant in the Alcantara Formation of Maranhão State. The discovery consisted of two partial skull bones, the fused premaxillae and an incomplete maxilla. While these might seem like meager findings compared to Spinosaurus's more extensive remains, they were enough to paint a picture of a creature remarkably similar to its African cousin. The formal description and naming of Oxalaia quilimbensis occurred in 2011, marking it as a significant addition to the Spinosaurid family tree. The name Oxalaia honors an Afro-Brazilian deity, while quilimbensis refers to the Colombos, communities formed by escaped slaves in Brazil's colonial period. This naming not only acknowledges the creature's prehistoric significance, but also pays tribute to the rich cultural history of the region where it was found. Despite the limited nature of Oxalaia's fossil evidence, paleontologists have been able to glean valuable information from these partial skull bones. The fused premaxillae, measuring approximately 201 millimeters in length, reveal a creature with a long, narrow snout, similar to that of Spinosaurus. The maxilla fragment, though incomplete, adds to our understanding of the jaw structure and dental arrangement of this formidable predator. Comparing these findings to the more extensive fossil record of Spinosaurus reveals both striking similarities and intriguing differences. Both creatures possessed elongated skulls with conical teeth, adaptations well suited for catching and holding slippery fish. However, Oxalaia appears to have had a thicker jaw and a slightly straighter snout compared to Spinosaurus, possibly indicating differences in diet or hunting strategies. The size estimates for these creatures are equally impressive. While Spinosaurus is thought to have had a skull length of around 1.75 meters, Oxalaia's skull is estimated to have been about 1.35 meters long. This makes Oxalaia the largest known theropod from Brazil, a title that underscores its significance in the prehistoric ecosystem of South America. However, the limited nature of Oxalaia's fossil evidence has sparked debate within the paleontological community. Some researchers argue that the similarities between Oxalaia and Spinosaurus are so pronounced that Oxalaia might be better classified as a species of Spinosaurus rather than a distinct genus. This debate highlights the challenges of working with fragmentary fossil remains and the ongoing process of refining our understanding of prehistoric life. The classification debate surrounding Oxalaia is further complicated by the fact that many Spinosaurid genera are based on isolated elements, making it difficult to draw clear distinctions between taxa. The loss of nearly all known Oxalaia specimens in the 2018 fire at the National Museum of Brazil has added another layer of complexity to this scientific puzzle, severely hindering further research and the ability to confirm its distinctiveness. As we dive deeper into the world of Oxalaia and Spinosaurus, we discover a fascinating array of adaptations that allowed these prehistoric giants to thrive in their watery domains. These creatures weren't just large, they were perfectly engineered for a life split between land and water, with unique features that set them apart from other theropod dinosaurs of their time. One of the most striking adaptations of these spinosaurids was their distinctive dental structure. Both oxalaia and Spinosaurus possessed conical, unserrated teeth, a far cry from the serrated blade-like teeth of their terrestrial carnivorous cousins. This tooth shape wasn't just a cosmetic difference. It was a crucial adaptation for their piscivorous lifestyle. The smooth, conical teeth were ideal for grasping and holding onto slippery fish, much like the teeth of modern crocodiles and alligators. But the ingenuity of their predatory adaptations didn't stop at tooth shape. The jaw structure of these spinosaurids was equally remarkable. In oxalaia, for instance, the teeth were arranged in a unique interlocking pattern. When the jaws closed, the upper and lower teeth meshed together, creating an efficient fish trap. This arrangement allowed oxalaia to secure its prey with minimal chance of escape. As noted in research, the expanded, interlocking front jaws and piercing teeth of spinosaurs worked as an efficient fish trap, a trait also exhibited by the Indian gharial, the most piscivorous extant crocodilian. While we have limited fossil evidence for oxalaia, its close relationship to Spinosaurus allows us to infer other potential adaptations. One of the most iconic features of Spinosaurus was its sail-like structure, formed by elongated neural spines along its back. While we don't have direct evidence of such a structure in oxalaia, the possibility of its presence is intriguing. If present, this sail could have served multiple functions, from thermoregulation to display, adding another layer of complexity to our understanding of these fascinating creatures. When it comes to size, both oxalaia and Spinosaurus were truly awe-inspiring. Estimates suggest that oxalaia could reach lengths of 12 to 14 meters and weigh between 5 to 7 tons. This makes oxalaia the largest known theropod from Brazil, a title that underscores its significance in the prehistoric ecosystem of South America. Spinosaurus, on the other hand, was even larger, with some estimates suggesting it could grow up to 15 to 18 meters in length. The skull proportions of these creatures were equally impressive. Oxalaia's skull is estimated to have been about 1.35 meters long, while Spinosaurus boasted an even more massive skull, estimated at around 1.75 meters. These enormous skulls, combined with their unique dental and jaw structures, made them formidable predators in both aquatic and terrestrial environments. But the adaptations of these Spinosaurids went beyond just their teeth and jaws. Their entire body plan was optimized for a semi-aquatic lifestyle. For instance, their nostrils were positioned higher up on their snouts, a design feature that would have helped prevent water from entering their nasal passages while submerged. This adaptation allowed them to breathe comfortably while partially submerged, much like modern crocodiles. The forelimbs of these creatures were also noteworthy. Robust and equipped with large claws, these limbs were likely used to slice and hook fish, further evidence of their specialization for fishing. This adaptation suggests that while these spinosaurids were capable of hunting larger terrestrial prey, their primary food source was aquatic. All these adaptations paint a picture of creatures perfectly suited to dominate both aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Their ability to efficiently catch fish gave them access to a rich food source that many other large theropods couldn't exploit. At the same time, their massive size and powerful build meant they could still pose a threat to land-dwelling creatures. The classification of oxalaia and its relationship to Spinosaurus is far from settled, presenting a complex web of evidence and interpretation that continues to challenge our understanding of these prehistoric giants. The discovery of oxalaia in Brazil initially seemed to expand our knowledge of spinosaurid diversity, suggesting that these specialized predators had evolved independently on different continents. However, recent studies have called this assumption into question, proposing that the differences observed in oxalaia may not be sufficient to warrant its classification as a separate genus. In 2020, a study by Robert Smith and colleagues presented a compelling argument that oxalaia might be better classified as a junior synonym of Spinosaurus aegypticus. This proposal is based on the striking similarities between the two creatures and the limited nature of the oxalaia fossil evidence. The researchers argue that the subtle differences observed in oxalaia's skull bones could be attributed to individual variation or minor evolutionary adaptations, rather than representing a distinct genus. On the other hand, proponents of oxalaia's status as a separate genus point to several unique features that set it apart from Spinosaurus. These include its tightly packed teeth and thicker jaw, which suggest potential differences in feeding behavior or prey preference. Additionally, the geographic separation between the two species lends credence to the idea that they may have evolved independently, adapting to their specific environments over millions of years. This ongoing debate highlights the challenges inherent in paleontological classification, especially when working with limited fossil evidence. In the case of oxalaia, the scarcity of remains makes it difficult to draw definitive conclusions about its relationship to other spinosaurids. The situation is further complicated by the fact that many spinosaurid genera are based on isolated elements, making it challenging to establish clear distinctions between taxa. The possibility of migration between Africa and South America during the late Cretaceous adds another layer of complexity to this prehistoric puzzle. During this period, the two continents were still connected, albeit with a significant stretch of water between them. Some researchers have proposed that spinosaurids could have migrated across this proto-Atlantic, explaining the similarities between oxalaia and Spinosaurus. However, this hypothesis raises its own set of questions. If migration was possible, why don't we see more evidence of other shared species between the two continents? And if oxalaia and Spinosaurus are indeed the same genus, how do we account for the subtle differences observed in their fossil remains? Unfortunately, our ability to answer these questions has been severely hampered by a tragic event. In 2018, a devastating fire swept through the National Museum of Brazil, resulting in the destruction of approximately 92.5% of its fossil catalog. Among the lost specimens were all known fossils of oxalaia, a devastating blow to further research and classification efforts. The loss of these invaluable specimens has created a significant obstacle in our quest to understand oxalaia and its place in the Spinosaurid family tree. Without the ability to re-examine the original fossils or compare them directly to new discoveries, researchers are left to work with existing descriptions, photographs, and casts. While these resources are valuable, they cannot fully replace the wealth of information contained in the original specimens. Despite these setbacks, the scientific community remains determined to unravel the mysteries surrounding oxalaia and its relationship to Spinosaurus. This ongoing uncertainty serves as a powerful driver for continued research and exploration. Every new spinosaurid fossil discovered has the potential to shed light on this prehistoric puzzle, potentially confirming oxalaia's status as a distinct genus or supporting its classification as a species of Spinosaurus. Moreover, this scientific debate illustrates the dynamic nature of paleontology and our evolving understanding of prehistoric life. As new evidence emerges and analytical techniques improve, our interpretations of ancient ecosystems and the creatures that inhabited them continue to shift and refine. The case of oxalaia serves as a reminder that in science, especially when dealing with creatures that lived millions of years ago, certainty is often elusive. As we've explored the remarkable adaptations and evolutionary history of oxalaia and Spinosaurus, a lingering question remains. What led to the downfall of these magnificent creatures? The extinction of these spinosaurids around 93.9 million years ago marks a significant turning point in Earth's history, offering valuable insights into the fragility of ecosystems and the far-reaching impacts of climate change. The late Cretaceous period was a time of significant environmental upheaval, one of the primary factors contributing to the extinction of oxalaia and Spinosaurus was the dramatic rise in sea levels. As global temperatures increased, polar ice caps melted, causing oceans to encroach upon coastal areas and freshwater habitats. This flooding would have devastated the preferred hunting grounds of these semi-aquatic predators, drastically reducing their available territory and food sources. Imagine the once thriving river deltas and coastal swamps where oxalaia and Spinosaurus reigned supreme, slowly disappearing beneath rising waters. The loss of these crucial habitats would have forced these specialized hunters into unfamiliar territories, potentially bringing them into increased competition with other large predators better adapted to fully terrestrial lifestyles. Compounding the problem of rising sea levels was the occurrence of prolonged droughts. While it might seem counterintuitive to have both flooding and drought, climate change often leads to extreme weather patterns. Extended dry periods would have depleted freshwater sources, causing fish populations, the primary food source for spinosaurids, to dwindle. Without their specialized prey readily available, oxalaia and spinosaurus would have struggled to sustain their massive bodies. The extinction of these spinosaurids didn't occur in isolation. It coincided with the disappearance of other dinosaur groups during the late Cretaceous, indicating a broader ecological collapse. This period saw the decline of several other large predatory dinosaur families, as well as changes in plant communities and smaller animal populations. The interconnected nature of ecosystems means that the loss of one group can have cascading effects throughout the food web. For instance, the extinction of oxalaia in South America and Spinosaurus in North Africa would have left a significant gap in their respective ecosystems. As apex predators, these spinosaurids played a crucial role in controlling fish populations and potentially influencing the behavior of other terrestrial animals. Their disappearance likely led to shifts in the populations of their prey species and potentially allowed other predators to fill the newly vacant ecological niches. The story of oxalaia and Spinosaurus's extinction provides a somber reflection of our planet's changing climate and its effects on biodiversity. Today, we face similar challenges with rising sea levels and extreme weather patterns threatening coastal habitats and freshwater ecosystems. By studying the factors that led to the downfall of these ancient giants, we gain valuable insights into the potential long-term consequences of our current climate crisis. Moreover, the extinction of these unique predators underscores the delicate balance of ecosystems and the importance of biodiversity. Oxalaia and Spinosaurus were not just impressive creatures. They were integral parts of their environments, shaping the dynamics of prehistoric food webs through their specialized hunting behaviors. Their loss would have reverberated through their ecosystems, potentially leading to further extinctions or adaptations in other species. As we reflect on the tales of oxalaia and Spinosaurus, we're reminded of the incredible diversity that once roamed our planet. These prehistoric giants, separated by an ocean yet remarkably similar, offer a window into the power of convergent evolution. Their specialized adaptations for fishing, from conical teeth to elongated snouts, showcase nature's ingenuity in solving ecological challenges across continents. The study of these ancient predators not only enriches our understanding of prehistoric life, but also provides valuable insights into climate change and biodiversity. The factors that led to their extinction, rising sea levels and habitat loss, echo modern environmental concerns. As paleontology continues to unearth new discoveries, our view of Earth's history evolves. Each fossil fragment adds another piece to the puzzle, challenging our assumptions and expanding our knowledge of the intricate connections that shaped life on our planet millions of years ago.